Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I play as France and we're going to be forming the Gallic Empire. So I start this one off by immediately, just raising money. With France, considering they're already a big enough economy, this is pretty easy. First things first, we're going to start off with the only natural choice, Belgium. So I start raising my army up there, mass recruiting. And since I have a lot of money, it's pretty easy. The Belgians do try to resist at some points, which they do weaken our line, but at the same time, I'm able to beat them very quickly. And so just like that, and plus I even have troops to spare, so I move them out. I don't disband them immediately. Instead, I move them over to Switzerland, where I can use them once again. And so once they all get there, I even send the military upkeep bar all the way because I really want this. I really want it to be high up there. And so the invasion of Switzerland begins, and I decide, okay, you know what, no need to just conquer the whole thing just because I can. I instead just I peace out for the one province I need, and then make reparations, make them pay reparations, because, I mean, why not? Because I could. And so afterwards, I went down to Andorra, and I sent some troops there, and I disbanded the rest. Now, I was planning on initially invading them, but then I just threatened to annex, which, I mean, they readily accepted. I don't blame them. And so afterwards, I sort of just took a breather, I decided not to really attack too much and just decided to hold on for a bit. And then, with my newfound money that I built up, I decided to invade Spain. And this one was going to be a big one, so I knew I should have built supply camps all over the borders just so I can increase my money, increase my income a bit more so I could raise a little bit of a bigger army, right? It would take less to sustain the army. And soon I invaded Spain. Now I started off mainly with an advance through Catalonia, but then soon enough we basically just rolled over the Pyrenees. Now the Spanish actually began advancing all over, and I mean not advancing, but they began counterattacking, and they actually did very decent damage to our army, weakening it and even managing to push back. However, I had to actually, over in the western side of the country mainly, I had to actually pull back quite a bit to resist their counterattacks. Meanwhile, they kept counterattacking. And however, in the south and the middle of the country, I was able to continue pushing. And soon enough, I had essentially conquered all of Spain, or not all, but halfway. But now the Spanish resistance had collapsed, basically. And so it was just a free land grab for me. And yeah, no, I did not spare any bit of Spain. I didn't make peace because I needed the whole country for this. So I, of course, sent troops to Melilla, or, well, their one single tiny province in Morocco. And I even annexed Gibraltar because I could. And also they were part of what I needed, so of course. And I took the last Spanish islands and annexed everything. Now, just as I'd finished my war with Spain, Portugal, Turkey, Indonesia, and the US all declared war on me. Okay? I didn't know this at the time, but they were all in a coalition. So just it's like I have wonderful luck, guys. A coalition of 4 extremely powerful nations decide to go to war with me. It's amazing, right? So then I do one thing because I realize that I have one province connecting me with Portugal. I decide to create a puppet state and prevent them from taking over my territory in Spain. Whereas over with the other 3, I basically got the surrounding nations to just attack them. So for US, I got Canada and Mexico. For Turkey, I got Iran, and I decided to get Greece in on it too. For Indonesia, I got the surrounding nations as well. So again, I really did not want to be interfere. The only one that I did not, oh yeah, and Indonesia naval invaded me too while they were at it, which made me think, oh wait, I didn't go far enough with Indonesia. So I pushed them back, and I realized that the Portuguese were now attacking me through Spain, which honestly angered me quite a lot, considering, well, now they were listen, they would just be able to arrive in my country with impunity. Oh yeah, Germany's getting massacred. That's just thought I'd mention that. But anyways, so now you might think, oh, okay, this is just gonna be an easy war, right? Portugal is the only one where I didn't get many countries to attack because Portugal, I actually have to fight them for this formable, so I don't want to do that here. But yeah, no, fighting Portugal was a very big pain. Because I realized that considering I just conquered Spain, I knew I would not be able to hold the position. So what I instead decided to do was fall back all the way behind the Pyrenees Mountains. So basically, reverse everything that I had just conquered. Right now, this was a strategic decision because what I wanted to do with this, right? Listen, son, let's get the strategy over here, okay? I was trying to build up money. Okay, it's pretty much what I did. I gave up territory for time, and also I got Greece. Turkey to peace out with me, which they actually did, and so did Egypt. So that was a good thing. But Indonesia and the U.S. refused, so I knew I couldn't do anything about that. So I got even more people to attack Indonesia, just to make sure that they would not bother me. Even Japan, right? Same US I checked, but I didn't need to do anything more for the US. They were already dying. So then I decided, okay, now that the Portuguese were spread out thinly enough around Spain, now I could counterattack, which the counterattack was largely successful. But at the same time, I started losing ground pretty quickly because the Portuguese started just bringing in troops, and they even started naval invading as well, which was also a big problem because they were now trying to get behind my lines as well and cut me off. And I tried making a peace deal where I just get back all my territory, hoping that Portugal would accept. But unfortunately, they didn't. I mean, I can't really blame the AI here because, considering the position they were in, it's not like, they're in a losing position here. So anyways, I managed to almost pretty much completely reverse Portugal's conquest of Iberia, or of my Iberian territories. Oh yeah, and this is the moment when I looked at the tab, I realized they were in a coalition. But anyways, I constantly kept getting attacked navally and navally and by land, right, by the Portuguese. And I knew that I had no choice whatsoever but to try and my best to hold on to Spain with the limited amount of recruitable population that I could get because, I didn't assimilate it. And the thing is, my new strategy, instead of just giving up Spain like last time, my new strategy was to basically try to make do with what I have at the moment. And then eventually, as you can see from you can see my, money going up right now. So if you guys notice that, my strategy was to recruit only from Spain, so very little, but just enough to hold back the Portuguese long enough for me to build a proper big army in France, and then send it in all at once. And like the future plan was to get it to and like instead so when the Portuguese army would be in Iberia, right, I'd build a new army in France, send it on boat, as you can see I'm doing right here. Prepare to send it on boat, and attack Portugal directly. And I assumed that since they've packed so many troops into this attack on my country, or on the attack on Iberia, I hoped, the idea that I had was that there would be no one defending the Portuguese homeland. And so because of that, I started, the plan actually went into motion right here. You're watching it right now. I managed to clear out the Portuguese power from my country, and then I also managed to invade Portugal. Now, I realized that I would not have the strength needed to do this, right? Because as soon as I did land, I lost a huge chunk of my army, and then there was bigger attacks. However, I did manage to secure peace with Portugal. And so that's how the guerrilla war, I guess, no, not guerrilla war, but the Iberian War, if you want to call it that, ended, Like, that took a very long time. And then finally, because Portugal was out of the picture, I was able to assimilate everything. And by the way, everything was in unrest. There was still revolt risk all over Spain because of this war. But luckily, I was able to keep it down. There were no rebellions because I reduced taxes. And so now that I was done with Spain, I needed to leave Iberia to assimilate properly. I decided to just wait a little bit. Now, of course, once I realized that it was properly assimilated, I started raising another army immediately. because I wanted to finish the job in terms of Iberia. And my first target was Spain because they were weaker. Not only that, but because I wanted to make them pay for basically letting Portugal through their territory to constantly be a pain in my ass. Now, of course, I tried to annex them the nice way, but they, of course, rejected it, which, I mean, no surprise there. But, yeah, no, Spain, I completely conquered Spain. There was nothing left. And I even went so far as to eventually take the Balearic Islands, right? They did hold out in some places, and they actually tried to push back, but yeah, no, the French onslaught was too much. And so once I took them over, I also realized that there was no point for keeping Andorra as a puppet state here. You know, they were useful for when I put them, but not really anymore. And so, just like that, I also, you know, I did not annex the Balearic Islands. Actually, my bad. That's a yeah, no, I was gonna do that, but then I decided to save time. Anyways, I used the remaining army, which, I mean, listen, not many troops died, but I used the remaining army to finally finish off Portugal as well for all the trouble they gave me in Iberia. And yeah, no, now finally Iberia was under my control. Spain and Portugal were now relegated to their islands, and I was finally free to send my troops to do something else and get out of Iberia for once. And the first thing I did was send them all the way over to the Netherlands because I had a province that I needed to take. And so I rushed in, sending all my troops. However, the Dutch managed to repel my attack, and they repelled my second attack as well with 27,000 people. However, the second invasion after they pushed me back, I was succeeded. I just took the 2 provinces I needed because I didn't want it to be too costly of a war. And now all that was left for me to conquer was Britain. And so I built a port. And honestly, Ireland was conquering the Netherlands, but I got a little concerned over that, but I didn't do anything about it. I didn't care. And so once I felt like I'd raised enough troops, I started mass recruiting all over France. And especially like this thing, Alsace-Lorraine, because I realized that I'm going to have to give that up soon enough because of the formable. So I decided to just recruit from there. Now, funny enough, Britain were like the UK were very good allies with me, but unfortunately, you know, I mean, I got to do this for the formable, so I had to attack them. And London fell pretty quickly, mainly because the British were kind of already at war with like the Swedish, and I think some of their forces were there. And so I was about to send troops all the way up to the islands, but then I realized that that wasn't necessary because I only needed up till Scotland. And so once I finally reached there, I just annexed the whole thing, which the game let me do because I won overwhelmingly. And so finally, we formed the Gallic Empire. Now, it wasn't done because I needed to release my territories that I didn't need, which I kind of forgot to do before doing the formable. And I was going to release Alsace-Lorraine as a country, but I could not find it. And so I instead went and tried to find Metz, but I couldn't find that. And I just realized now that I missed Alsace, but whatever. I decided to release Belgium because, I mean, Belgium's anyways a buffer state, so why not? Then I decided to release the 2 provinces that were near Switzerland and Italy, and I decided to go with Savoy. And meanwhile, I decided to go with Corsica for, well, the island of Corsica because I didn't need them either. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.